Let's move on to the final game on Saturday, and that is the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. I mean,
You got to come to Shreveport. I've been there.
that is in Shreveport. Texas Tech will take on Cal. 2.5-point favorite. The Red Raiders over under 57.5. That is a boring bowl sponsor. Like, what are you getting out of? They do like technology solutions. Like, you're what are you getting out of sponsoring a bowl? Now, shout out to all the bowl sponsors. They allow for all these bowls to happen. But like an avocados from Mexico, that's you already have your jingle. I've been singing it around my house. I went to the grocery store and then I bought like extra avocados because I was craving them. Like, that's how it works. Like, what Radiance Technologies? What are you getting by sponsoring a bowl? I don't know. All right.
You get a really uncomfortable commercial at the start, I'm sure, from the board of directors.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about Shreveport? Yeah, I've never been to Shreveport.
Oh, wait. So I saw Arkansas, Missouri. I believe it was 2003 in the I Bowl. It's an interesting town. You can get into a lot of trouble. It's like it's like a town that I call checkered, because it's like you can be at $1 million home and then you could be in a place where you can get shot like block to block to block. Shreveport is a hell of a lot of fun to get. And a lot of dive bars there. You'd love it.
All right, I'll have to get down to the what is it, the Red River down there. All right. This a lot of news on Texas Tech. They're starting left tackle Monroe Mills hit the portal. Only allowed 2 sacks on 894 snaps this year. 2 of their starting receivers, Miles Price, Jaron Bradley, they hit the portal. Their starting defensive tackle, really good one, Jalen Hutching. He had surgery. He'll miss the bowl. And then you have, I mean, if you go back to that Texas game, I mean, one of the reasons why Texas, multiple reasons, but one of the reasons Texas took money late there is Texas Tech had a ton of injuries. And you had your starting safety, Tyler Owens, was out. Defensive end, Steve Linton, was out. Their starting middle linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez, didn't play because they're redshirting him. Their starting left guard, Cole Spencer, hasn't played since week 5. So the good news is McGuire said that he expects Morton to finally be at 100%. Said he's been close, but wasn't. So we'll see if he looks any better. And most importantly, Taj Brooks announced he's coming back, and he's their bell cow back. In regards to Cal, you had a number of their backup quarterbacks hit the portal, but it looks like they found their guy in Mendoza, the freshman, so he's going to start. Now, if he goes down, it's pretty problematic. As far as transfer portal is concerned, yeah, you have your leading tackler at linebacker and one of your starting corners hit the...
And their top safety get in there today, too, Jeremiah Irby.
Yep. And Taj Davis, the receiver, is no longer with the program. One of their starting receivers, Wilcox, announced. I think that was today or yesterday. So there's some news to figure out here with both of these teams. Cal, we just mentioned that Cal game. Cal beat UCLA in their final game to get to 6-6 to get to bowl eligibility. So obviously that was probably important. I mean, it is UCLA, kind of a rival too, but it seems like they beat Stanford by 12 before that. They beat Washington State before that. They closed the year pretty strong. I would think that their care level is pretty reliable. Texas Tech, I don't necessarily know where they're at mentally, because it's one of those teams that, they ended the season by getting curb stomped by Texas, but they had high expectations. A lot of people had them as a sleeper in the Big 12. Now you're playing in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl against a 6-6 Cal team. Are they that excited? I don't know. From a numbers perspective, I show a little bit of value on the Red Raiders. I just don't have a great feel for them. I don't love backing this Cal team I like backing them as a bigger dog, not as a 2.5-point dog. So I'm leaning Texas Tech here. It's Texas Tech to nothing for me. I'm just a little worried about some of the opt-outs, some of the defensive injuries. the left tackle injury and then where they're potentially at mentally. But I think under a field goal, there's some decent value on the Red Raiders. What do you see here?
Well, Texas Tech losing their offensive lineman, Monroe Mills, is huge. There's only 3 snaps that were taken at left tackle, blindside tackle this year. It wasn't Monroe Mills. It was Ty Buchanan who got those 3 snaps. He has 15 total on the year, and all of a sudden he's going to play blindside left tackle for you.
And Mills only allowed 2 sacks the whole year. And think about how many plays, like 890 plays.
Yeah, so if Baron Morton is if he's completely healthy, that could change here real fast. And Cal ranks 31st in pass rush per PFF. So expecting Morton to be in some pressure here. And I know he was a freshman last year, but he had some pretty terrible numbers when he had a pressured pocket. And the injury to Texas Tech's defensive interior, Jalen Hutchings, that's a big loss. 20 pressures this season. He was 3rd on the team. But why it's so important for Texas Tech to get a pass rush is because quarterback Fernando Mendoza for Cal, his adjusted completion percentage drops nearly 25% with pressure. Without pressure in a clean pocket, he had a 10-4 TD to INT ratio. So it's really important that they get some hands on him. We'll see if they can here. Now, the Cal offense, I mean, who's coaching this thing? The offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital, is left. He's going to take that position at Baylor. Good luck with that next year. The offensive line coach, Mike Bloch, he's going to take on the OC role here just for this game. But there's a vacant quarterback coach. There's a vacant tight end coach. Tim Plow is off. He's back to UC Davis now as a head coach. So you have to ask yourself, like, the game plan going in, it's not going to change at halftime. This offensive staff is like one guy right now. Texas Tech dominates rushing attacks using inside zone, but Cal's second option of man concepts is great for Jaden Ott. I think Jaden Ott is going to have success when he runs that until Texas Tech makes a change. Now, rush EPA is on the table here for Cal. They're 4th in creating broken tackles, and Texas Tech has been pretty bad, 81st in broken tackles allowed. For that reason alone, I'm going to play Cal on the first half, but with this offensive coaching situation, there's no way that I'm going to play them for the full game. Now, the Texas Tech offense should have some success running. Inside zone is most used with Taj Brooks. He'll be back in 2024. He'll be back in this game, and he's going to be most successful here. The more successful he is in this game for Texas Tech, the more pressure that is off Morton. So we'll see if they can pull that out. Now, the total moved from 56.5 up to 58. These 2 teams are lightning quick. I mean, the pace is going to be 23 and 24 seconds per play, but there's not a lot of explosives. Like what you would think out of these teams, they have 0 EPA, run or pass. So I think at 59, which it's steaming that way, which is a big key number, you're looking to take an under here with 2 offenses that struggle to put together quality drives, and they just don't have any juice in the passing game for either one of them. So at 59, I'm gonna be looking hardcore at the under.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is that who did Texas Tech play to Ole Miss in the bowl last year, right?
Yeah.
So Joey McGuire goes for it on 4th down as much as any coach in the country. In a bowl game, he's going to go for it even more. So that introduces a lot of variance into this game. Another reason why this is a tough game to handicap, in my opinion. This is one of the tougher bowls to handicap. But if I see Texas Tech go down the field and they don't get a 4th down or a couple early, I might look for a live over. They're just going to keep going for it. And if they don't get a couple early, they'll get a couple. They might even go like a couple times in their own territory. So yeah, and you mentioned the pace. I also want to
should run circles around them after halftime. This Cal offensive staff is 0. There's nobody there.
Yeah. I'm gonna look for a live over. Yeah. Or actually I might look for, because if Cal can't do anything late, I'm going to look for live Texas Tech if they go down early.